Hey, J Street, how you doing? Good to see you around these parts lately. I feel like I remember you watching, was it the Ultimate General stuff a lot? I hope you're doing well. Back in the before time. I'm not going to wait too long, just given it's already kind of late. So I think we'll wait about one more minute and then we'll get started. Hey, USMC Tanker. Good to see you. Someday I'll merge the YouTube and Twitch stream chats. Someday. For now, you'll just have to wonder, what did the ever so smart person in the other channel post? What did they say? Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Master of Command, the new Lion and Eagle DLC which came out, which adds Sweden and Lithuania. This is a Lithuanian campaign. We just won Act 1. We are going into Act 2. Our army's a little bit beat up after that last battle, but in theory we should have up to 14,000 troops. We've got 3.5 brigades to our name. We need to build out a few more regiments here in the 4th Brigade. Remember, this is a campaign that is highly dependent on your ability to convince the same, I'll just call it Congress or Parliament or whatever the heck you want to call it, in order to be able to add more brigades or do different things. I'm curious what the second act will look like, because we've already gotten to 4 brigades, and 5 is the most you can do. So, like, what other things would we potentially want to use our political capital on? That's a question that remains to be answered. We've got a pretty reasonable and experienced army at this point, mostly going with firearms-related tactics and strategies. A lot of veteran musket units and things like that. We do have 2 artillery units and, 1 cavalry unit? And then a couple of units are, like, nominally out of ammo here, these guys. So maybe it would make sense to hold them back and not let them fight in this next battle. But I'm hoping this is relatively easy. I assume we'll have to fight when we go to the supply cache. It's the very start of the campaign. We haven't done anything else. We do need to secure 4 encampments and 5 convoys for our secondary objectives. And the main enemy army that we have to face here at the end of all of this will have 16,000 men. So from a size perspective, we don't really need to grow the force. We'll add 2 more brigades probably, or 2 more regiments and get to 16,000 or so soldiers. But then, like, at that point, we'll basically be even at a numbers level, and it's really about getting our quality up, I think, in this particular campaign. But let's go ahead and get this started. And thank you very much for the kind words, Sev and USMC Tanker. Appreciate it. An emergency cache. This cache was laid down in haste before the ground froze. It says the ground froze, but it's not winter looking yet. And though it holds a fair share of coin and cartridges, there's precious little food to be found. I have food actually right now. I'm out of recruits and ammo. We do have all of the recruits we need assigned to build out the units though. So it's a little bit better than this looks. We may still collect what remains, some powder, some coin, but the rations will be thin. Okay. Why would I leave without taking the... All right, 72 thalers. I don't actually have to fight for this. Okay. 72 provisions and 204 ammo. I will gladly take that and then assign that. And we aren't quite fully built out ammo-wise, but all but 1 regiment are at full strength. So, yeah. All right, so we're at 14. So we got to go to Schroeden, which has less cavalry recruitable, I think. Go to a slums up there, but that's kind of out of the way and bad terrain to get up there. So let's go to Schroeden here. I don't know how soon we'll fight. I had really assumed we were going to be fighting there right away. All right, we have some pelts we need to sell, and then also some sort of trophies from the previous battle at the end of the last act, which gets us up to 15,000 gold. We could use it to recruit more troops. We do have 2 brigade slots open. I don't like any of those particular units though for me. Do we want to use these items here? Not all of our brigades are fully equipped. So basic tobacco increases accuracy, reduces stamina. Increases accuracy and reduces, wait, what's this? Increases accuracy and reload. Actually, let's go with the tea ration. Chip chip cheerio, who needs some tea? We'll give these guys the tobacco. Shepherd's Axe gives a cover bonus. Whoops. So go with that here. Charge resistance and melee damage. Melee morale. Okay. And we'll go with these guys and give them this. Our cavalry already has a +6 melee, +2 move speed, but we could improve that slightly. Well, I like the melee more than the morale, so I think we'll keep that. These horses, I don't know that I would use them. 10-pound iron howitzer. 40 shot damage. Very bad canister, but I almost never use that. Damage radius is 2.7, ammo consumption is 28. So shot damage is way higher with the howitzer. Canister damage is actually higher with the howitzer, and damage radius is higher. Ammo consumption is marginally higher. The real trade-off here is range, 350 to 340. No, not even. I guess accuracy, 15 to 35. I think the iron gun is still going to do better because of that huge accuracy discrepancy. All right, so let's go ahead and buy some recruits, I guess. We'll use some gold to buy some ammo and recruits. Spend 500 of our gold on ammo. Stock up. This isn't a particularly inexpensive place to operate, so it's not like we're getting a discount on any of this stuff. The food is pretty standard price. Okay. Tobacco increases stamina. Yeah, I mean, it kind of wakes you up a little bit. Maybe it gives you a little buzz. I don't know. I don't know what the logic is on any of this stuff, man. Polish Vanguard Cavalry. So you go to Pansari or Polish Veteran. Veteran if we want them to shoot stuff. Didn't we have a Dragoon unit? I thought I had 2 cavalry units. Did one of them get like killed? These guys don't have guns, so they're not really Dragoons. Okay. All right. Well, I just spent a big chunk of my money. I guess let's head north. There's a battlefield here. There's a slums here. There's an encampment up north. We also need that convoy. Seems like there's not really any towns up here. There might be some undocumented towns, though. So we go up to this battlefield just off the road. Flank of a friendly force, so we can go ahead and commit some reserves. Okay, so only did 700 reserves, and I get 420 of them back, 3 weapon items, and 84 gold. Get some good sock bayonets. Go ahead and replace some of these worn muskets with land patterns. everybody has good muskets now, right? No one's sitting on bad ones. Liege musket, no particular specialty. We'll hold on to that for now. Okay. The Grand Parade. 5 days. Good step and raised infantry standards. Guaranteed success. Okay. We get 1,260 veterans and 1,260 recruits. Hell yes. Did my guys level up? I don't know. We'll go up to Durban. Fewer items at shops. Okay, well, we need to sell the Warren muskets that we're not using and the Warren bayonets. We got plenty of everything else right now, I think. No reconnaissance plane. I do want another. I want another cavalry unit and I want another artillery unit. The question is, so I'd rather get the 6-pound iron. So to that extent, I'd sell the howitzers. And actually, the artillery and the cavalry would fit out that last brigade, which means I wouldn't need. Well, I probably wouldn't need 2 horses. I guess I'd rather the morale than the move speed. So we'll sell this horse, even if it's slightly more valuable. I do want to keep those muskets though for now, which means I can't afford, because the artillery is 1,000, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go up to this convoy in the north. It's a thunderstorm. Huh. I can sacrifice a horse? Sure. Guess I shouldn't have sold that horse, but oh well. Night raid. Wait 4 days. Capture more reserves, tallers, and weapons. Can they just give me some frickin' carbines? That's what I really need. Man, I'm wasting so much of this campaign marching around and I found no enemy armies yet. I know we're still very close to the edge of the map, but where are these guys? Do I have a horse item to sacrifice? I'm curious, did my actual horse... they lost their horses! Okay, I didn't realize it was sacrificing from an existing unit. Where are the bad guys? No patrolling armies, no anything. This is a 12 and 4 versus a 10 and 2. Yeah, much better. They're up to 1,300 gold. Lithuanian field artillery. I did want another artillery piece. Which is better? 450. Wow. Lithuanian field artillery, much better accuracy. Better reload too? No, worse, slightly worse reload. Yeah. They both have the same gun, so I'm not sure why the discrepancy there. But now we've got a 3rd unit here in this brigade. We could use a new officer as well, but Did we want to buy a horse unit? Does that make sense? Hungarian horse. Okay. All right, I got plenty of recruits. Let's go back to this battlefield. We're going to go up to Windsor here in a moment. Oh, darn. Suffer some attrition. I've never seen no enemy armies anywhere. What's the deal here? Thank you for the free officer. I needed him. Ooh, he's got supply wagons, so now we'll have 2? Hell yeah, brother. Get some extra food. I got no money left. I don't know where the bad guys are. Okay, what is this? 18,000 men that I just accidentally walked into. How do I have 15,000 men? It says my army's max size is 14,575, and yet it says I have 15,000 men with me. I don't understand that. Anyway, this is the first battle we're going to be going up against the enemy, and they've got a pretty damn good army, and they outnumber me. They've got a lot of cavalry here. 2 Henmint Cossacks, Shalobidian Cossacks, Cossacks, Prussian Hussars, 3 artillery units down here in this brigade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cavalry units. That should be interesting. No, I saw him at the end there, but I figured I should fight. All right, boys. Here we go. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to something you again. All right. What do we got here? Okay. Given their enemy horse, this feels defensible in the rear. What's their doctrine? They're likely to be aggressive. Okay. Thinking we'll put some guys up on this hill. Where do these guys end? Okay. We will put these guys up here on the hill here on the right. Actually, these guys have cover already, which is nice. So like we'll push 2 units up on this high ground. These guys are going to refuse the flank. They'll kind of be a reserve. Put these guys back in this wood line here as a reserve. Hopefully no cannonballs skip that far. Artillery here to fire between these units, between the lines. Supply wagons stationed with them. They can also reinforce the infantry. The general will also support them. The other artillery, I guess we'll just place to their flank. Like, they won't be able to use canister there, but the game does let you shoot over your own men, so they can do that. We have 3 artillery units, that's right, I forgot about that. Alright, let's choose the artillery unit that actually has the grape shot that can fire through the lines. Okay. We're going to form up with a more narrow front line, I think, a little bit more in reserve. Just because with all this cavalry, I imagine the enemy is going to charge and try to break through our lines at times. Okay. So here we go. Oh, I didn't really deploy where I wanted the cavalry there. I suppose we'll deploy them on the right flank. Put these veteran musketeers up on this high ground. So we're going to put 3 regiments on our right to kind of maybe do a little bit of an advanced position here on this high ground. And given the enemy's likely to charge us, you know, multiple times with their heavy cavalry, keeping a sort of strong reserve of infantry in the second rank is probably well advised. These guys will kind of guard the Polish flank here in this wood line. And then our vanguard cavalry can countercharge potentially if the enemy tries to go around our right with a lot of their cavalry. So we'll accelerate, let things move a little bit, let the enemy come to us. Their whole second rank here is pretty much cavalry. They do have a good amount of artillery. We have the same amount, but they have 3 horse artillery. Does that mean they're howitzers with more damage but less range? What is their range? I don't know that I think they might outrange me. But obviously a foray for our cavalry is probably ill-advised, given how heavily cavalried up they are. Alright, so they could hit my infantry from here if they want to. My infantry up in the heights. But it looks like they don't want to do that yet. They're gonna pull back. What are these guys shooting? 3-pounders. Huh. I wouldn't mind focusing on their artillery here a little bit. Some counter battery fire. Let's focus on the left unit, because if we hit them, those shells will skip back into yet another battery of artillery and a 1,000-man Hetmite cavalry unit. Oh, why is my... I don't want you up that far. That... Okay. We're gonna have to pull you back pretty quick. Maybe halt. All right, they're shooting their artillery against my breakwater. That's what these guys effectively will be, is a breakwater. But maybe shoot at the troops coming right at you from like 20 feet away. All right, they've got to align, so maybe... Oh shit, I wasn't even paying attention. Their cavalry's charging my cavalry. God damn it. In my rear. All right, fire down the line there. All right, we drove off one of their cavalry units. Good job, boys. This artillery can fire down the flank of this line, but it only works until they come up on you. So let's pull back, because that enemy infantry is going to volley you and kill you pretty quick. Have you done much damage back here? None pretty much to the artillery, but you have hurt the cavalry behind it, which is kind of the assumption. They broke this unit. All right, boys, go ahead and retreat. Did we break a second cavalry charge? Get out of there before they break you. All right, our cavalry is exhausted. Their morale is low, but they have done a good job. Polish veterans are now a reserve. Polish militia here are eating up casualties, but again, the goal is to cause the enemy assault to be disorganized. Can these guys target here and go with grape shot? I don't know if they've got a clear line of fire. Right, the musketeers here in this wood line also breakwater actually did relatively okay. Oh, they're getting charged, but I clicked charge right as they were charging me. But we did drive the enemy cavalry back again, so that's good, I suppose. Cossack cavalry are doing horrific work against the boys. Can they actually shoot here though? Do they have a line of fire through here? Like two of the guns might. Right, Cossack cavalry's charging into these Lithuanian musketeers. Turn fire. Alright, I need to bring up these reserves. Right flank is in trouble. Oh, God. Left flank's doing better. They're not even really attacking elements of it. So let's bring some of these troops over here and prepare for them to charge. The whole left flank is unoccupied, so we're going to bring two brigades over, 2 regiments over here. I don't particularly want to shoot into my own lines, but I might be willing to do it. Nice. So these guys saved it for now, these Prussian musketeers. Oh God, I just charged my general into fresh morale troops. This is not a pretty fight. It's really hard to gauge how things are going. I don't think well, especially with the loss of my general. Although he just rallied, so good on him, I guess. They still got so many cavalry units that are uncommitted. Oh, what a bloodbath. I think we're pretty much done here. God damn it. Yeah, I mean, the morale is low for everybody, but none of my troops who are retreating have the space to rally. This artillery's inflicted almost 1,000 losses on the enemy, but... the enemy just went so heavy into the melee. My general retreat? No, my general's over here. Shift your fire to my general. Shift your fire to my general. Give my artillery time to reload. There's the general. Well, our morale will collapse when my general's off the field. It's already not good, but somehow some of my troops ended way up here. Reload faster, boys. I don't think you'll break him with one more salvo of grape, but he did inflict some casualties. I think we just lost an officer. That's great. Hopefully not one of the officers who's got the supply wagon trait. Never mind, you're all dead. Defeated. Who's even still fighting? How have we not routed? Yeah, the enemy really did go Leroy Jenkins on us. I tried to hunker down and use, you know, terrain to my advantage, and they just swamped me. Good thing I've got a good number of recruits to replace our losses here. This is a field army, so the enemy's stronger. We lost 7,000 men. The enemy lost 6,200. Two of our artillery units were destroyed. That's great. And our best general, von der Goltz, who had a artillery or a supply wagon, was killed. Woof. The only positive is artillery is very expensive from an ammo perspective, so we don't have to really pay to replace that. Are they going to pursue us? I didn't know that those kind of field armies pursue. They lost about a third of their force. If I can oh, they are going to pursue. That's interesting. I don't usually see that. All right. I need to sell cavalry stuff so I can get more replacements. I don't really like weapons that are melee centric, which I suppose would have been useful in that specific fight, but all right, I think we may actually outnumber them. By the time they reach me. Why is the game pausing? All right, let's go to the slums and see what we find here. We can get 720 deserters. Get 1,000. I'll do that. Give me 1,000 more men. Yes, please. Takes time for them to be enlisted. Yes, let's delay the enemy headquarters. Okay. So I didn't get my troops fully replaced. Enemy didn't gain replacements though. So now they outnumber me by 5. The artillery disadvantage is a little bit of a problem. We hurt their infantry pretty heavily. We did not hurt their cavalry all that much. So if they go Leroy Jenkins on us again, that may be a problem. We're not really built as a melee army. If we had more grenadiers, we probably would have stood better to their charges. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do here. I got a little bit of confidence. Not a lot, but a little bit of confidence. We can figure something out here. Second time's a charm, right? All right, so we're going to hold on the left. There's woods, height, woods, and then second rank has fence line. If anything, the last battle taught me defense is a foolproof plan. Actually, we're going to hold on the right. This is even better terrain. You can't lose when you go on the defensive against an enemy army. I'm being sarcastic. I thought the wave breaking strategy of using high ground to sort of be a buffer would be smart, but obviously I was wrong on that in that case. The interesting thing is my cavalry actually did a pretty damn good job versus their cavalry. It was the infantry versus cavalry where we got absolutely crushed. I suppose forming thicker ranks rather than thinner ranks, even though it reduces your fire, might make us more resilient against charges. Ground definitely matters. It may just be that we need to have thicker ranks, and they don't have as much infantry, so maybe that's the right strategy. So I'm just shortening my lines a bit. These are pretty thick ranks, though, for most of these units. Okay. Militia in the middle. You know, they're good militia. I just don't want to get too bunched up here with my reserve because enemy artillery definitely a factor, especially with me having thicker ranks. Of course, the one artillery unit of mine that survived are the 3-pounders. What would be nice, and this is one thing I don't think is modeled, but I could be wrong, is the it doesn't seem like charging up a hill is a major like penalty to charges. That feels like that should be a thing. There is no square formation in this game. Actually, historically, the square did not become popularized as an anti-cavalry tactic until after Frederick the Great, or maybe they started experimenting with it during the Frederick the Great campaigns, but like that was much more of a late 1700s, 1800s tactic than it was sort of a middle to early 1700s tactic, is my understanding. This isn't really the middle of the line anyway. The true center is like right here and here. Oh god. All right, you target that. Oh shit, they're out of range. Can you target? No, stay here. Stay behind the lines. I don't want you advancing that far ahead. Just target there. Then you'll ricochet back into the hussars and maybe the horse artillery behind. All right, let's reform your line a little bit so we can fire into these guys with a better angle. We built a little bit of a salient, which is not very smart. Here they come, boys. Nice, you switched your fire right as they charged you. Man, they are real hell-bent on the charges. Any chance we can hold out versus these Cossacks? It looks like we will hold versus this first cavalry charge with our veteran muskets. The enemy morale is declining pretty quick. Enemy cavalry is trying to get around us, so we will move these guys back to refuse the flank. Our own cavalry is back here as well to guard against that. So we'll keep 2 units firing against these. This is a specialist unit too, the Prinz von Prussian muskets. We did drive the enemy back there. That cavalry unit was broken. I don't think they will rally. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. They will. Their morale can come back from that. They got really concentrated artillery up there. Are we doing any damage against that? Not a whole lot. We're hurting the cavalry behind it, but I've got 3 regiments firing on these Prussian veteran muskets, and they are giving a good account of themselves. Enemy cavalry's not trying to work around my flank anymore? Well, in that case, let's extend our line. They're going to charge. You can see them form up into that block formation. We got a point blank volley. We formed up into our own block. Reserve unit charges into the enemy cavalry here, hopefully to help. Enemy morale is dropping pretty quick. And they quickly retreat. No, no, no. Don't you go out there. You will die. Pull back. Leave the musket boys to shoot their muskets. That enemy cavalry is going to retreat. When it does, we'll shoot it with a volley. Drive it back. Finally getting these veterans to waver. Alright, I think we may have weakened the enemy enough in the previous battle to win this fight. These are our specialty. I already said that. This is a specialty infantry unit here. Whose officer was killed? Oh, wait, no, that unit's officer is already dead. So I think it was the enemy officer who was killed. They charged into a gap between 2 of our units. Oh God. I'm bringing my cavalry up. Gonna deploy another reserve. They're trying to unbuckle our whole center. It might work too. Deploying the cavalry reserve here hopefully will help. Well, the veteran muskets are going to retreat on their end, and then maybe with 3 regiments of infantry and 1 of... Okay, they're all going to retreat. Good. Good timing. Good timing, boys. Well met. Nope, pull back, reform your line. Nope, no, what are you doing? Oh god, I didn't mean, I clicked the wrong button. Well, the Magnentes are gonna rout. Like right over top of my no room to countercharge either, really. This is just going to turn into one big melee in the center of the line, and then whoever lasts the longest will survive. Oh, I don't want you charging off after them. Oh, can you rally? You should be able to maybe rally. They smell blood in the water and they're going for it. They got 2 cavalry units charging here. I'm trying to countercharge with 1,000 veteran muskets. I don't know. They got pulled off to the side though. Fuck. Can you fire a canister at them? Oh my god, my whole line. Right flank, they're charging, but these guys are not. My general retreated, didn't he? Everybody's running. It'll be a close defeat, but it'll be another defeat almost certainly. Oh my god. Well, we drove their cavalry back. Too bad we've completely exhausted our own ability to keep fighting. Did my guys charge all the way out here? What are you doing? Go get their guns, I guess. Okay, they're retreating and they're retreating. Now they're gonna rout or shatter actually, so if we fight them again we won't have to face those guns, thank god. We've got these cavalry up here who are reforming though. Yeah, that's it. Well, you gave a good account of yourself, boys, I think, maybe, but a defeat is a defeat. Good lord. We lost another 4,700 men. The enemy lost 4,200. Certainly not getting any political points for all these defeats. We didn't lose any officers, though. And in fact, one of our officers got an upgrade. Okay. Are some of these guys still replacing losses? A few of them. I honestly feel like if we fought them again right away, we might stand a chance. Do I have any? I can sell the one rifle we have, I guess. Maybe get like 500 recruits. We actually outnumber the enemy now, though. Not that that matters. 32 gold won't get me anything. And I'm not ready to just start selling off equipment that is in already equipped units. Just drill till they come. Get more experience. It's winter! Alright, we're up to 600 more men than them now. Again, not sure that matters, but might help. Oh, we lost the last artillery unit too? Oh no, they're still here. They're still alive. You know what actually might make sense? Move. Would it make sense to do that? No. No, I don't think so. I was gonna say, like, reduce the strength of some of these to make the other ones full strength, but it takes time to do that. Alright, I rarely drill, but maybe some of my guys got more experience and leveled up a little bit from that. Act 1 was smooth sailing. Act 2 has been a disaster. But if we win this battle, everything will get better. The lack of enemy patrol armies is very disconcerting. It's just like they're big boss battles that you have to fight. All right. Artillery on the hill. So what does the enemy have now? Like, with all of the casualties they've taken, what are they sporting here? They have, we didn't rout one of their artillery units we attacked. We forced a retreat, but we didn't rout it. So they've got 3 artillery batteries still, not 4, but 3. These units are much smaller, so like 300, 200. So their infantry units are shadows of their former strength. Even their cavalry units are pretty greatly reduced. Then again, our troops are kind of in the same boat. Defending in the city would be nice, but I can't push far enough forward, I don't think. Maybe if we hold in this town? Let's just use the wooded terrain that I can fully deploy on. And with our regiments being so much smaller, generally, the dangerous thing is with the thicker lines, it does make us more vulnerable to artillery. Oh man, I can just stretch these guys out and make them a flank fire unit. Okay, I don't know that this is smart. We'll see. The enemy still has the same... So they get less melee stamina drain, and combat gets a bonus, cavalry gets a bonus combat effectiveness. So this doctrine is probably a big reason we've had so much trouble with them. If I keep throwing men eventually, you know what? Listen, I've got a little bit of Grant in me. That's all I'll say. Come at me, bros. Eventually, they must break. They did thicken their lines too. They learned the same lesson. They're like, we've got too few men. I'm just gonna let the artillery shoot at whoever it decides to shoot at. Doesn't seem like targeting the enemy artillery to then hit the cavalry has been a very effective tactic. It worked for us in Act 1 a lot. Here they come, boys. Who will break? Tune in next time and we'll see. Ah. So their infantry is focusing on the center. Their cavalry is going to try and flank, I guess, and go for my cavalry. I will pull my boys back in a refused line. So they will have to pass my infantry. All right. Advance the infantry on the flank so that you get more guns in action. I don't want too many of my troops just sitting out here and doing nothing. God, that was a devastating volley from the bad guys. Why is all our fire focusing on guys who have a entrenchment bonus? They're probably going to swing around and hit the infantry with the super thin line, is what I would guess. Alright, these guys might break-ish soon. They're at 50% strength already. Their cavalry has fallen back, I guess. Not trying to flank me anymore. Their morale is shockingly good. And they're definitely out fighting me. Alright, we finally got that one enemy unit to retreat. Don't worry though, a new one's coming in to take its place. Let's try and shift your fire to get more muskets in. Okay, that was actually that long thin line of militia actually did a pretty good job there on that volley. The enemy morale took a real big hit there. God, we're losing so much more than they are. Veteran muskets, I need your 1,000 muskets in the line. I'll commit your reserve. The real fight is when the cavalry starts charging though. 100 muskets versus 77. Some of the enemy regiments are starting to look like Confederate ones at Antietam. Are they going to rally or are they done? Looks like they're done. Alright, so can we roll them up? It would be great if we could. Supply wagon, go to the artillery. That's where you need to be. The only areas that we've got an advantage here casualty wise are on the flanks where some of their units aren't shooting back at me because they don't have enough units to do so. I don't want to get too aggressive right now just because I'm a little worried what their artillery is going to do, or their cavalry. Sorry. All right, let's target this Slobodane Cossacks. Then you can bounce into the Hussars if you miss. Gonna move this infantry to the center to act as a reserve. Okay, I do think they're also concentrating on a handful of my units also, which explains some of the casualties discrepancies. And a lot of their units have like cover bonuses with these various traits here. But these guys are fighting almost 1-to-1. These have 270 advantage. These guys are down by 200. The Lithuanian line muskets are going to replace them when they break. These Lithuanian muskets are going to replace this unit when it breaks. The troops in the woods are the ones doing the worst, and I assume they may also be the target of the enemy artillery. The right flank units are now getting very strong results casualty-wise. Scourge of War is definitely the more realistic military simulation, Aqueduct. This is much more of a casual sort of Ultimate General vibe type game with like roguelike elements to the campaign. But at its core, not issue, but at its core, the focus of Scourge of War is its crafted scenarios. And this is kind of the opposite of that. This is like, hey, mostly freeform battlefields. Anyway, the enemy infantry appears to be breaking for the most part. The results are getting pretty one-sided. I assume there's going to be like a trigger that'll hit. Oh, here we go. I was going to say there's going to be a trigger that'll hit and all of the enemy cavalry will charge. Well, those first units here broke really quick. Although the enemy cavalry broke too. The advantage of them charging later in the game is that their army morale is low, which means that influences their cavalry morale. The left flank's a little bit of a worry. All right, I charged my cavalry into the center here to push the enemy back. Appears to have succeeded. Their ferocious cavalry has not been so ferocious this time. Oh god, I charged my own cavalry at this enemy infantry and they are not broken. Come on, infantry, go save their asses. Still got a couple more cavalry units here. Polish have broken. They've still got more troops on the right flank, it would seem. We will hold versus the Hetmans, but a Prussian Hussars is coming in. Hopefully those two infantry regiments are enough because there's nothing left in reserve. They appear to have been enough. Did we finally do it, boys? Did we break the enemy? General getting in the act. Just got to break their artillery now, I think. Guys, where are you? Come back here. My infantry is not happy. We just like bypass the one remaining enemy unit to pursue their retreating ones. They're reforming on the outside of town. There we go. Oh my god, that victory was a long time coming and I wrecked my army. But we did win. We got there. 698 gold. We lost another 3,000 men. I'm gonna go with reserves to get me more replacements. Baggage trains to reduce ammo consumed in battles. Hey, another general got promoted. Okay. The good thing is I'm only technically one, I guess 2 regiments less than I started. And only 1 general. So we captured some stuff we can sell. I badly need more artillery. Wouldn't say no to another thing of cavalry, but the artillery is what I really need. Okay. Some units, they're all up, all of their bayonet. No, I was going to say some of them are not. We'll sell this, 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 and this. Won't make us a lot of money because it's all basic stuff, but. All right, so we're up to 800 gold. I mean, realistically, I need artillery. They don't have it here. I need recruits badly. So we'll spend on all the recruits. It will still not be enough to fully replace all my losses, dear God. It's close, though. We did win, yes. Okay, so we got that. Is there a cheap officer I can afford? What's he do for me? All right, new rookie officer, pretty much. Okay. Did we get to that convoy? We did. We need to secure 4 encampments. There's 2 up there. Where are the rest of the damn encampments? So I need 3 more. 1 down here in the south. 2, 3. Alright, I guess we'll march to this town. Can I do anything with my reforms here? I've got 36%. Request reinforcements, what does that do? It just gives me in 1 new unit. That'd be nice, but I don't know if I want to spend that on that quite yet. There's another enemy encamped army. Let's check what's in the slum. Sure. I don't know who I'll give you to yet, but why are there no patrolling armies? This is really throwing me off. Oh, there's one. New officer, level 2. One coming my way, too. Do I want to trade this for soldiers? Is it worth it? I mean, I'm not raising new units right now, so I suppose we'll do this. Still not enough to replace all my losses. Morale and move speed is nice, but that'll give me 2 more things of recruits. Another 1,000 men's gotta do it, right? No. No, it does not. Thank you for the follow, yo. 454 big block. Okay. So we'll still be down by about 7,000. How strong are they? 15,000? I can't fight them. Well, they didn't see me either. 10 to the wounded, more reserves. Okay, we're getting close. I want to go way off into the wilderness, though. What's at this outpost? Can't do anything there. You can fight the headquarters army early. I don't think I'd be advised to do that at this point. Army veterancy. I need to get my troops better, so... What? They spotted me? How are they pursuing me? How'd they even spot me? New officer. Okay, 36 still. So the lack of artillery is a problem. But I won't get that without fighting another enemy army. Is there anyone we want to upgrade? Polish Vanguard. I guess this just makes them heavy. They lose some manpower, but they gain quite a bit of charge and other things. Plus that manpower can then be redeployed to the other units that are under strength. Lithuanian, they're maxed. Commonwealth recruits we can upgrade to for better shooters, I guess. And then again, I can deploy those reserves to fill out. We are back to full strength by shrinking some of our other regiments. We made them better artillery. We turned them into field artillery. And they should be larger, so. Making them dragoons would be interesting, having a second cavalry unit. But they've got shitty weapons, so... They've just got reserve swords. I need like 200 something gold to get them better stuff and get to 160. Buys me a lance. Makes them better on the charge, but not. Ugh. All right. What else can we sell? I hate like trying to scrounge around for money, but I made them dragoons and they don't have the ability to do anything. Honey, I shrunk the regiments. Yeah. So we got 2 officers. What can I do here with them? I can get... I need money. That's what I need. All right, Polish militia. Where did they go? Where did they deploy? It said I got Polish militia, right? But where did they go? Is it these guys? Top right? I don't see them up here. They're supposed to be a 3 experience unit, right? These guys right here. Oh, they get their worn muskets. Guess I can give the cavalry carbines. The new cavalry with the horrible sabers at least have decent carbines. And then the new militia will get better weapons. No, I found them. All right, so what are we looking at now? We're sitting on 14,000 troops being pursued by 15,000. Well, let's go to this encampment. Winter has come. Okay. We're nowhere near ready to fight this headquarters army either. Well, that didn't work well. We get to fight an enemy army. What do they got? Observation musketeers. Those aren't great units. Grenadiers. Alright, these guys are not like, they've got 4 cavalry units, which is little, but they don't have any artillery. No artillery, 4 cavalry units, and not very experienced infantry. That is a much more fightable battle, especially considering we outnumber them. Okay. All right, boys, what are we looking at? 2 nice hills here. Granted, the enemy will be in cover approaching them. So let's form up on the right and use this big hill on the right flank, I think. We'll use this big hill. Let's get into position, boys. Let them come to you. Mostly inexperienced infantry on their end. Fewer of them. More cavalry, but not like... It doesn't look like it's like crack cavalry in terms of its level. Dragoons will form on the flank to harass the enemy if they try and go around us. We'll put sort of, they have no artillery, so there's no reason we can't just double line it up. That's the other thing. No artillery means I can just stack lines in front of lines, and there's no penalty to doing that. Okay. Unlimber. Okay, so we've got a double line here on the hill. A double line in the wood and on the flank. What's their doctrine? Unlikely to be aggressive? Well, they're being aggressive enough. Observation grenadiers do have the ability to be pretty effective shooters. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, they're shooting at you, so you should probably extend your line and go get them. You go march in front of the infantry here. Take some of the pressure off the Lithuanians, let them get some of their morale back. They've taken a bit of a beating. Swap, open ranks, march through. Halt and engage the enemy. Volley fire. Shift your line right. Oh, never mind. They're going to charge you. Okay, well. The one thing that's a little goofy, or maybe it's not the only thing, but you can just charge your cavalry through your own lines. There doesn't seem to be a penalty for that. So... Oh, we're fighting against grenadiers? Freikorps grenadiers? Okay, well, maybe it's a good thing I used my cavalry there. Okay, despite having fewer regiments in action because of my double line strategy, my boys are fighting okay. Freikorps, please retreat. I've got 3 regiments lined up against you. There we go. Alright, Panacea, fall back. The Polish veterans are a little bit... Oh, shoot, no, don't do that. A little bit tired. We'll pull them back. Lithuanian veterans, you're going to be at a disadvantage here against the Freikorps musketeers, but do your thing while the rest of the troops rest. Advance here. Oh shit. Maybe actually fire into their flank. Just a thought. Since they went way wide. You haven't lost a man yet. Who's Napoleon? Me or the bad guys? All right, their morale's relatively low. I don't want them to shoot another volley at me, so I will charge them. Hoping that my cavalry's trashy Richard Sharp-esque heavy blades will break them. And they do. So shift your fire to these guys. Lithuanian veterans, keep pursuing them till this drops below the red triangles. Oh, they shattered. Even better. Okay. So the Lithuanian veterans will rally. They're retreating, but they will rally. Who are these Freikorps shooting at? I think those guys rallied up there. All right, we're pushing their infantry back mostly, and so I assume we're going to be in fighting their cavalry here very shortly. Oh, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Right, I assume my infantry will get a charge bonus against these Freikorps veteran hussars. They do. No, no, no. Don't do that. Alright, boys. You held on the hill long enough. Go over to the general offensive. I think that the enemy is weak enough that the cavalry charge will get them to break. It's going to be close, but... Yep. Bit sloppy on the left, but we are winning. I'm surprised how passive they've been with their cavalry despite the advantage-ish. Okay. Let's advance on these observation troops. Enemy countercharged my pursuing cavalry. We'll drive them back with relative ease. They're going to charge them twice. And they're shattered. Does that mean they're dead for good? Or if they get out of here with enough casualty or survivors, will they be okay? No, you should be shooting at facing these guys. Oh, you are. Okay. Oh, it broke that enemy cavalry in it. Okay, they're wavering, and now the cavalry is going to hit them in the flank. So they're retreating. Victory. There you go. All right, how bad were the losses? What's the butcher's bill, boys? We get 800 gold. We lose 2,800 men. And I will replace all of those with reserves captured there. We did lose one of our more junior officers. The cavalry didn't get destroyed, so that's good. Good thing I have an officer in reserve. Okay. Meanwhile, this cavalry unit here with the reserve swords can go ahead and use their hussar sabers now to make themselves considerably better. The new infantry can use their hangers Ammo consumption, earthworks. Okay, we'll upgrade them to get better. We have a couple of really good regiments here. Level 5. Do we even have any militia left, or do we replace all of them? That one unit, Lithuanian. We've got one militia unit left. Okay. I don't know if that enemy army behind us is still chasing us or not. Moving through a blizzard probably will consume a lot of supplies. Oh, they are chasing me? I have not replaced all my losses yet either. God damn it. Russian musketeers, grenadiers, Freikorps musketeers. They only have 2 batteries of artillery. It's more than me, but it's not disastrously more. And they only have 2 cavalry units. Thank God. Okay. They do outnumber me, so I guess we'll see. With that being said, guys, I do need to step away for just a second. We are going to fight this battle, but I need to go do something real quick. Use the restroom, if you will, and then I will be right back and we will resume where we're at. By the way, I might do a news article about it, guys, but I don't know if you noticed. Someone made a comment on one of my 1492 colonization videos, which is like a new sort of colonization clone that came out a couple months ago, and I played it on the channel a little bit, and someone was like, where did this game go? And I was like, what? So I dropped into the game's discussion thread on Steam. Apparently it was delisted because I think Take-Two sent him some sort of legal notice. At least that's what they posted. Obviously I have no inside information, which makes me wonder if like that game looked a lot like colonization. It makes me wonder if they're like, so there's, you know, creative license, and then there's also just blatant, you know, copying. And I wonder if that happened, because I know that did happen to, there was like a War Game Red Dragon, like literal clone as well a few years ago that was like up for a few weeks and then immediately got pulled. So it makes me wonder if that was something like that. In any event, I suppose we shall get started. Okay, so I don't really know what to expect here. I'm hoping that it seems like our ability to withstand enemy cavalry is much less than our ability to withstand enemy infantry, But I'm sure as soon as I say that, they will rock me. That being said, we're going to be fighting in a blizzard here, boys. So let's see what we got. All right. This is good terrain right in the center. Good elevation, good cover. Where I want to be. Let's actually move everybody into... maybe I want to be on the right flank more. I don't know that that town is big enough to house my army. All right. All right, you guys go up to the front of that hill. You'll form... You'll refuse your line. The only concern here is I'm not going to have a lot of reserves, I don't think. Okay. It's like the Battle of Eylau, except we've got way not enough. Oh god, look at that. Way not enough troops. What's their stance? They're likely to be aggressive. Okay. They got some troops going way right, which is interesting. Maybe I will have more of a reserve. No, maybe not. Shift further south. All right, if they're really going to go wide right, double doink style. This unit's kind of a reserve, but they're also deployed back here. So really I'll have one reserve regiment. Yikes. I probably could have more if I had thinner lines, but plus the cavalry, I guess. Don't let them break your line, boys, or there's no coming back from it. Actually, let's pull these guys back. You'll be a reserve. Thunder muskets, thinner line, please. kind of a reserve, kind of a just thick line on the edge. I don't really have a good spot for these guys, or they wouldn't be a really thick line. If I put them way down here, I guess they really are a reserve, just extending the line to a ridiculous degree. Okay, so we've got 2 regiments in reserve now, I suppose. Kind of 3 or 4, depending on what you count. Some of these units that are just extended. Plus our cavalry is pretty much all reserve. They really formed a big long line. They're like, we're gonna envelop you, but I'm trying to make my line as compact as possible so that they can't envelop me. Tell the miller it's winter. Put a stopper on it. Maybe it's grinding the gunpowder. Maybe. Did they just shoot and like hurt my ammo supply wagon? I've never seen that before. That would be a real smart tactic, to be honest, but they don't have any light troops, which I guess is a blessing. They're really long. They're going for firepower, it would seem. Whoa, those guys lost 100 men? Dear God, those casualty numbers are not encouraging. I don't think I've ever seen the AI be like, we're going to go for as long and thin a line as possible. That's interesting strategy. Oh God, they are moving infantry to fight my dragoons directly? Okay. Hit them in the flank. My dragoons apparently did nothing with their first volley. Hopefully they can get out of there before the enemy shoots them again. Probably not. Well, maybe. All right. Actually, the enemy is going to form on a straight line to fight these musketeers, so you pull back onto their flank. All right, we broke one of the regiments, drove it back. They'll probably rally, but at least for now, that's one less line of troops on me. They're really trying to envelop me, huh? I'll go ahead and shoot at these guys, because that's who's... All right, enemy charge up the middle. They're going against troops who have basically completely high morale. It's an interesting decision. Use the dragoons to harass these Freikorps' flank. How did they do so little damage? 1 kill? Fuck it. Fix bayonets and charge their flank. It's got to be the weather. The enemy will break. All right, we drove back the charge on the hill. Reserve, come deploy against these grenadiers. We're gonna charge uphill again. Okay, charge back into their rear. They just charged and exposed their rear, although those musketeers are a little bit of a concern. I don't know how well these dragoons will face. Oh, that artillery fire hurt the enemy morale quite a bit. These Freikorps veteran musketeers are going to retreat. I think my cavalry will force these other Freikorps veteran musketeers also to retreat. Just barely playing it out. Move over another flank. All right, the enemy cavalry starting to move. Oh, I didn't want you to charge like that. No, I don't have much choice. I gotta protect the regiment in Bean. Enemy hussars are gonna come into action here. My right flank is in trouble, actually. Some of those units' morale is surprisingly low. So these three regiments will probably retreat in short order. I do have a reserve regiment of veteran musketeers. I can pull up actually 2. So that shouldn't be disastrous. We'll charge these grenadiers flank. Charge through the snowflakes, boys! Get them! Yeah, Mike, I played it on the channel. I played 1492 on the channel. And yes, 1492 was pulled from Steam. According to the developer of the game, which obviously, you know, they've got their own story to tell, but they received some sort of legal notice from Take-Two. General, finish the enemy off. Well, they still have some uncommitted cavalry, so it won't be quite finishing them off, but finish this unit off. And now run away. Brave, 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 brave Sir Robin ran away. He bravely ran away, away. No, we got suckered into the charge. Melee Fest, Melee Fest. Everybody sign up for Melee Fest? No, don't charge, just shoot. No, I told you not to do that. All right, go advance on this. Whoa, what's going on here? Go get these hussars. Charge them from the rear. Actually, that's from the front. The enemy's on facing the other direction. Whatever. Charge the cavalry. Break them. Really? They didn't retreat yet? Okay, now they are. Alright, just the one Russian grenadier unit left, and I think this is over. This ended up becoming a lot bloodier and messier than I had wanted, but you know, that's every game. That's every battle in this game, it would seem. Is it like Total War? You don't have a... You have like a roguelike campaign map. So you move around, but you're not like building a country. You do manage and build your army and like upgrade it and things like that, but you're not building towns. You can destroy towns. Okay. All right, so... Another victory, almost $1,000. Nice. Captured a lot of stuff. We lost 3,900 troops, so we will go with the conscript option to get our casualties back mostly. A lot of troops get upgraded and promoted. Goodbye, ammunition. Okay. Let's go to this encampment. So we can get a free unit. Cost us reserves I don't have. Well, I do have actually the reserves. French unit. I'm a little worried about provisions, but I'm going to go with the French unit. $1,500 more troops. Where's the closest town I can march to? Probably down here is where we want to go. Oh, way closer, way better. Oh God, no, 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 no. I don't want to fight again. I was complaining about the lack of patrolling armies, and we started running into all of them. Right, we outnumber them, but they have 3 batteries of artillery. They don't have any cavalry though. Okay. I guess. Light infantry. All right, we'll fight another. We shall fight another. Okay, what are we doing here? There's a nice little fence line back here. Does it go all the way across? It does. It does. Okay, so let's hold back. Then I will deploy my troops. So first things first, veteran muskets on this flank in this town. It's probably one of my best units right here. No cavalry. This is just going to be a volley fest. Actually, to that end, with the way that the Russians played last time, perhaps we should just form up in long lines and pound them. They do outnumber me, though, so that's one risk. But the thing is, they're going to get a better KD exchange I let him do that. I could go after their artillery though, since they have no cavalry. That'd be an interesting strategy. Use my cavalry to hunt their artillery while their infantry comes up. They're unlikely to be aggressive. It may defend if they have an artillery advantage. Well, they do have an artillery advantage, so they may defend. We shall see. That'll make it harder for my cavalry to go after theirs. But you don't have unlimited ammo either, so... Well, they probably don't have a supply wagon. I rarely see the AI get a supply wagon. The light infantry could be a bit of a challenge. They're always harassing you and being jerks. We'll form our cavalry up on the right flank. We'll see if the enemy comes for us. If they do, then we'll just fight it out on this line. If it takes all summer. Hey, Skip. All right, we're gonna do a little mini offensive here. If they're gonna stay in place, we will engage their right flank with my Polish musketeers and my Lithuanian musketeers. My dragoons will engage their flank, and my cavalry will come in behind them. And they're going to shift their army to try and hit me here. So I would advance out on them. And we'll see how this thing develops. I'm gonna send my heavy cavalry out this way and see if I can swing wide around them and go for their artillery. I don't know why they would leave their center all this open though. Like, they're pushing all these troops over to the right, and all that does is give me their rear. They're shooting at these guys. Go get that artillery. Dragoons charging these guys' flank. I don't know what a converged musketeer is. One of my units is retreating. I suppose if they beat me to the spot, oh, their general or something must have come in here because they just got a morale perk. They were about to break and then suddenly it bumped up a bit. I think they'll still break to me. Shatter, shatter, shatter. There they go. They cannot be reformed. Charge the light infantry. They're in loose order rank. Oh god, Prussian musketeers on your flank though. is going to retreat. But they should be doing real damage to the light infantry. Hey, cavalry? I think you charge the one battery, but don't just stand there. Go ahead and charge the next. All right. Well, their artillery advantage was short-lived. These guys still have 70% ammo, and they're all going to be routed from the field. Good job, cavalry. You did your job. Doesn't matter what you do from here on out. Not that I want you to do nothing. All right. Why don't you go back here and rest a little bit? Get a little bit of stamina back. All right. The Lithuanian dragoons rallied. So did the musketeers. I don't want line infantry volley firing against light infantry. That is a losing proposition. I shouldn't have to tell you to turn to fire against an enemy on your flank. That should just be assumed. Also, cavalry charging at you, I don't care. Like, yes, their morale might be worse, but you should not be holding that line without support firing on their flank or something. Like, this infantry, they should be losing cohesion more rapidly than they are, I think. They may hold out against that charge, but at least I think their advantage against us is largely broken. Our infantry will break them eventually. Our boys retreated, but they will rally. Good enough. Cavalry got most of their stamina back. Go finish off these enemy troops that are retreating. My Polish veterans on the flank did break. All right. Jaegers are finally retreating. I didn't mean for my cavalry to charge into those troops. That was a mistake. Any chance we win anyway? Maybe. The morale difference is pretty stark. These guys are a bit fought out. I think they will beat those Prussian muskets. Be interesting to see what the casualty figures are on this fight. I thought I fought it pretty well, considering they were more passive. I've never actually had to attack an enemy. We had one other scenario where we kind of played cat and mouse with them for a bit, but they had an overwhelming force. This is obviously a bit different than that. The infantry have pikes. No, not really. They're musket armed troops. There are some like modifier things you can get, which I think one of them technically is pole arms, but it doesn't have like it's just like it gives them a bonus, like, you know, against charges or something like that. Okay, there's 2 enemy regiments left that are holding strong. Gonna charge the cavalry into the rear of these guys. Oh, our dragoons are already fighting them. Okay, well, cavalry and more cavalry then. We've got infantry charging for it as well to join the fray. And they're gonna rout, I would expect. Yep. All right, 1 enemy force left. We'll speed this along. My cavalry retreated. The first one did anyway. Victory! All right. What did it look like? The cavalry on our end definitely lost heavily. Almost $800. We lost 2,200 men. What's this? Military treaties. Huh. All right, let's do the conscript to get all of our losses replaced. Units get promoted and level up. No ammunition left. Need to buy more ammo. Okay. Pontoons. Okay. I'm not really a melee guy. I'd rather sell the melee guns, even though they're good. Let's get into Ruthnall. We gotta go ahead and get more provisions. Only 28. That is a great deal. We will buy them all. Actually, that's ammo's cheap too. Friendly markets items cost way less here. Cool. Okay, I would like to buy another artillery unit. I've got 2 cavalry. I need another artillery. Please have one. Nope. Lame. Sometimes you can convert infantry to artillery, but I don't have a foundry where it makes that make sense. Okay, we'll sell those trophies. The worn muskets. Take a look at our cavalry sabers. 12 and 4, 8 and 7. Which is more important to you, I guess. I'll do this, technically because they're dragoons, so they should have dragoon sabers. Lithuanian dragoons can level up to veteran dragoons. No reason not to do that. Lithuanian musketeers can level up to either grenadiers or veterans. I've been going the veteran route rather than losing manpower, so I guess we'll keep doing that. We could make these guys into an artillery battery, but I don't have guns to give them. Okay. I guess the reserves are cheaper here too, right? These are really good guns. I should consider looking at equipping them. I know I don't really like their traits, but if they're worth that much on the sale, they might be something we should consider. Start equipping guys with grenades, let them chuck them. Okay, so we've got another 50 days till the enemy HQ army rolls. We're up to 16,300. It's more about the configuration and quality. We actually will outnumber the headquarters army if we go full strength, but we got crushed multiple times by those sort of encamped armies, so we gotta be careful. Delay the headquarters and get some provisions. Yes, please. Cover effectiveness goes up. I don't really march around a whole lot, so the loss of movement speed shouldn't really hurt us too badly. New officer. Really? That's all you got? No, at a bigger town like this, you don't have any more options. Provisions is going to be a big concern in the next battlefield too. So spending money on provisions that you can then carry over to the next act, if you get to the next act, I think it's worth it too. All right, we can expand infantry unit size by 100, although it does hurt their morale meaningfully. What happened to the... We had an option to increase the size of our general. It's like the options to us were reduced. He's a level 1, so that's fine. Oh shit, I hit that button twice. I didn't actually mean to do that. Alright, so the reform cost drops, so when we get back to 100, we can go ahead and get a 5th brigade if we want. 250, yeah, that would be interesting. Buy more ammo. We have one more slot, and I think if we get to this encampment, we will fill it out with a free unit, so I guess we'll do that. Blizzard again. Oh, nice. It's a field artillery unit. That's exactly what I wanted. With a 6-pound gun. Cool. So now we have 2 artillery units, 2 cavalry units, and the rest infantry. Not quite the mix you necessarily want, but... Alright, he's officer death chances reduced, better morale, better move speed. Who's it worth replacing, though? Or is it better just waiting? Because all these off... Platter is the one who would make sense, but I like his perk. So now we're up to 1650. We could try and go take another field army. The enemy won't come to us for another 40 days almost. Or maybe one will come to us. New officer. We should swap these guys, because if we try to bribe, it always goes starting with the left. Oh, that ammo's cheap. Not to like blow all my money on ammo I don't need immediately, but... Or provisions, but I'm not buying anything else. Hey, TG4, I'm in. We can bribe with 20. More provisions and ammo that I don't need. So I don't think we'll do that. Not now, anyway. Can I put better guns for my other unit, though? This seems worth it. The ammo consumption's not that bad. Goodbye, money. .405, so considerably better range. Worse reload speed, but much better shot damage. Triple the shot damage. Accuracy's a little less. Definitely worth it. Better stamina is always worthwhile for the artillery. Okay. Hey, Gordon, how you doing? Yeah, gear's worthwhile. I'd like to fight this guy to get some more experience for my troops. Maybe start getting us some progress toward a 5th brigade. If we could get like 2 more regiments and have like 18,000 men and have like a meaningful manpower advantage over this enemy, that'd be great. I don't actually know what his composition is, but that being said, we've been going for over 2 hours. I got to work tomorrow and it's almost 1:30, so we are going to wrap up here. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream of Master of Command. We shall continue, but until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.